Well, hello friends, and welcome back to the cabin. I hope that you're having great weather like we are here. The high is only like in the upper 70s, or it has been so far. It might climb back up a little bit later on, but then the temperature's down in the high 50s and the low 60s at night, so it's been very comfortable. Well, in the last video, we got this sleeve put in the wall. We got the wall finished right here. And I had to do that in order to build a small hearth area right here for that wood stove to go in, so that we can heat the place in the wintertime and we can continue to do projects down here. But in order to put this flooring down that I've got, I need to finish these other two walls, and then we'll put the floor down and finish this area out so that we can get that rock board, get framed around it, so that we can start mixing some concrete and laying some stone. Get another one on. Why, yeah, look at that. Yeah, we're gonna have to mark out for this. How about that, friends? That worked out pretty good, didn't it? See if I can get this oven in there. Oh yeah. How about that? I remember the 96, I didn't catch the 98. funny thing is, I thought I had cut enough, but it looks like I'm at least one short. So y'all circle the airport, go get you a drink, bag of chips, and hang out a little bit because I'm going to have to go saw another log so I can finish this wall. Well friends, we had a special delivery yesterday and I'm kind of excited to get this put in here, so let me show you what I'm talking about. That isn't it. That is the new cord that we've got for the generator. I've got it laying on the porch so that the sun can heat it up where I can get it in and turn my angles and not have to worry about it trying to coil back up. But here's what I'm excited about. Check that out. We had a new battery that was delivered yesterday. So I'm going to have to turn the power off so that I can open that up, get to those bus bars, get it hooked up in here where we've got 3 currently, right? So that'll make 4. That will give me, might as well say, somewhere between 15 to 20,000 watts that I have that I can use here. I kind of look at it as, say, 12 to 15 with those 3 and possibly 18, let's just say it that way, 18 to 20 with 4 of those in there. So that's going to be a whole lot better this winter when it comes to power consumption and being able to last through the night, and the fact that we've got that new cord for the generator that we can actually help charge up what maybe we don't get on nasty days. So I'm going to get my tools together and we'll get started on this floor. Yeah, I've got some material that we're going to put down here on the floor because this is only subfloor and I do have cracks, so I would have cold air coming up through there. So that material that I put down here is going to give me an added R value, so my floor will be like 1.5 inches thick once I get that down. Then it will also, it's not going to shrink any. I can close up my corners, hopefully, and that will close up all the cracks so that we won't get any cold air bleed through. And it will also stop the bugs from crawling up from underneath, right? Let's get one of these slid up here and put down. Now which side do I want? I think we're going to stick that side up. Okay, I've got some inch and I think these are 3/4. So I'm going to be screwing down into 1 inch because this is actually 3/4 board, or this is 1/2 inch board. Okay, so I'll just barely be going through the other side. Guess I better put it in like that. about that, friends. Well, now we're ready for this rock board. So what I want to do is, I found the center of the pipe up there. That's the way we're going to build this. Kind of like that right there. I'm sure it's going to be right, just in case. We'll get us the line over here. I don't guess it really matters which side you put up. This was left over from Jennifer's house. Well, I'm going to get these kind of set in place here. And a couple more. And right here we'll get those temporary in there. I'm going to put screws in it to hold it better. I got this put down there, but I got to cut it off, and I got to finish the rest of that. This will actually hold the concrete down to this rock board. Tell you what, it's easy to cut your fingers on this. You can't hardly do it. Add these little screws with your gloves on, so I guess a few nicks doesn't hurt nothing. Looks like you've been doing something, right? This extra little trim that goes around the edge to hold my rock in. Okay, friends, right here we go. I've got enough area now for a foundation, thick enough where I can get some mud down in there. The rock will still stick up about an inch up above this, maybe even a little bit more, but that'll give me enough depth for a good foundation. That's what it's going to look like. Now this extra piece right here, I thought about it and thought about it. I finally went ahead and cut that and put it there because that stove, the long one that we're going to put here, the edge of it's going to be like right about there. So I didn't want it hanging right over the wood. So I decided to add that. When we get the potbelly stove fixed, that'll just give me an area where I can kind of stack some wood up here and still be on the hearth and within the same vicinity. But I think it's going to look really good. Well, good morning. Down in the hollow below me, I saved some rock from when we did the cabin here. right there. And I had like a half a pallet of it left, and I've stored it down here in this hollow. So we're going to jump in the four-wheeler, run down here and get us a few pieces so that we can start laying some rock for that little hearth down there in the workshop. You'd think I'd come down here and weed eat. But here's the rock that I was talking about that I saved. There's a pile of it right there. There's some there. And then here's another pile of it right in there. Alright, I'm not quite sure how much it's going to take, but I've got a little bit of a load right there. So we'll take that up and see what we can do with it. First thing we got to do is get that sleeve set in the wall. I was going to try to pack that other stuff down in there with that circle cut around it. Then I decided to go ahead and make it square, that way that little lip wasn't touching right there. So we'll make it look just like the cabin. Yeah, I didn't want to be doing this after I had laid my rock, so this needs to be the first thing that needs to be done. We'll probably have to clean the wood off too. Well, we'll let this dry a little bit. I've got it plumb on the face right here. I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then I can go take the blocking out on the back and finish mortaring it from the back side. Trying to decide how you want these to lay is the biggest problem. I guess maybe right about like that. I gotta build that up just a little. About like that. Right there. Maybe. Like this. I should probably put a little in there before I set that down. I think that's about it, friends. Well, I believe I just about got it here. We'll have to do the top tomorrow. I'm going to let this set up before I put any weight up on top of it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let this dry overnight. I kind of got the rocks sponged off a little bit. That's all we lack is that back there, because I've already got that up top. Already got it sewn up on the front and the back, and it's ready for pipe. As soon as we can get this done and get the stove moved in here, we'll be ready for some heat. Well, good morning. I tell you what, friends, the last couple of days that I have come out here and just taken a look outside, check this out. Just looking over those solar panels, that is the first real hint of fall. Generally, the poplars will start turning yellow and those leaves will fall first. Then the dogwood trees, the leaves will turn red and then those berries will pop out and then they'll start falling. And then, of course, we got our first few leaves that are falling. But yeah, looking over the bow of the juice shack right there, you can tell that one poplar, it's about halfway turned brown, so it won't be long and all those leaves will be falling. I always love the beginning of fall because that brings on a little bit cooler working weather. Anyway, I'm going to run down here and check this rock out and see how it's set up. That's a little close-up for you. So my focus today is going to be getting this upper portion done, but I don't have enough water because I need water to mix the mortar. But I also need water to clean it off, and I don't want to get started and not have enough water. So let me run and get some of that, and then we'll get busy and see if we can get this upper portion done. I almost forgot. I'm going to have to make another trip down in the hollow there to get some rocks because I used up probably 75% of what I got, so I won't have enough. We'll run down there and pick up a few more rocks, and I think we can get this thing knocked out. Alright, let's pick us up a few more rock to finish that. Well, I believe that I might have enough with what I've got here and what I've got left up there, so let's give that a shot. I went yesterday and picked up 2 more of these. I wasn't sure how much I was going to need because I got a partial one left. Let me go ahead and open up a new one. of you have done work like this before. I've not done too much, but it's a lot of fun. I found that these two types of trowels come in really handy. So this one is for cornering, and then of course this one, you know, I use it for basically scooping. Okay, I've got mortar on the wall, and the way I get that to stick is I just kind of wet the back of it, and I put just a small thin layer on there, so this sticks to what I've got on the wall. There we go, like that. See if we can get another one stuck up here. Let's see. Put it like that. It's okay to be sloppy because we got to clean it up anyway. Okay, I think I have enough mortar left to do this one rock right here. Let's see what that is. I think it'll go right there pretty nice. I've got some screws that I put in the wall right there as kind of a anchor to hold it against the wall instead of those little bitty wide straps. I don't really have any, but as long as I get something screwed in there and the concrete sets up around it, it'll be just fine. We just about going to be able to stick a fork in this and call it done. So, packed around it, hold it in there. Well, I let it dry and I got this swept up a little bit, so now it's time to clean these stones up. And the joints. I'm giving this the real light once over. Then I'll pour that water out and get some clean water in here and do it again. Then rub my joints down a little bit. Do the bottom, and that should take care of this little project. Well, I think it's turning out okay. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I'm going to have to let that dry, and then I'm going to change water. We're going to wipe the stone down again, and then I think if I go over those joints, I can stick a fork in that and call it done. Then once I get that done, we'll drag that stove back over here and see if we can get it hooked up. And then the next thing is we're going to have to put the pipe on the outside. Well, I think that it turned out quite nice, don't you? It really looks good, and when we get that potbelly stove fixed and get it put in here, I believe it'll even look that much better. And what I'm getting ready to do is cut a piece so that we can get this portion hooked up. Well, I believe that's going to work now, friends. I need to get some more of that tape and put it around these joints, but yeah, I believe that's going to work. In my damper, it still turns in there. So yeah, I believe we are ready for a fire now. Check that out. Well, friends, it's sprinkling a little bit outside, so I think I'm going to wait till I run the flue up on the outside. So that will be in the next video. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed this. Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.